Hi there, my name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. Today I am going to be taking a look at one of my favorite albums from one of my favorite ghoulish artists, Rob Zombie, Hellbilly Deluxe 2, with a little sub of noble jackals, petty dreadfuls, and the systematic dehumanization of cool. All right, so let me start with as a kid growing up, when I was getting into music on my own, I had two artists that I bought cassettes from. Because that's what I was buying when I was first getting into music was cassettes. And that was the Beach Boys and Alice Cooper. So you had surf on the one side, you had shock rock on the other. Most of my family just blew their mind how those were my two extremes, and it just seemed completely incompatible. This is the unholy love child of surf and shock, baby. Oh my god. There is so much surf all over this album. Oh, but that aside, that tells you where my bias is already going with the way this album is. But I love Rob Zombie. I enjoy Rob Zombie's movies. I realize that they're not for everybody, but I've personally enjoyed them. I like the style that he films with. I love his music. I always have loved his music. I love the fact that this is an album that has John 5 on it. I think it might even be the first album with John 5 or the second one. I'd have to go back and double check. But that's also not the point. Yes, great band lineup on this album. But the music, oh my god, from beginning to end, this is just a great, solid, amazing album. He's done albums since that I think are very good, but there's nothing that I think is as solid as this one is. There's maybe a little bit of fluff depending on how you want to look at it, but we'll get into that. So let's get started. The album opens up with Jesus Frankenstein. First off, this is one of those classic horror movies that you have to be a horror buff to really, truly get. Rob loves to do songs like that, related to that stuff. Just like the Misfits, It's cool stuff, right? It's fun stuff, Sing what you know. So, but Jesus Frankenstein is this big, heavy, just opens up with the thunder. Oh, Jesus Frankenstein. And the whole time you get, boom, 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 going on in the background. And it locks you in right at the beginning and just gets you going. Once the song gets into the groove and gets going, it's nice. It keeps it going. It's a good kickoff track. It's nothing overly special. It's a fun tune, though. It really is. From there, we go to Sick Bubblegum. I love Sick Bubblegum. Now, Sick Bubblegum is wonderful innuendo for, a little cunning linguistics, if we will say. Okay. So, but the music on Sick Bubblegum is just great. And when it gets to the chorus, oh my god. And when you actually pay attention and you actually realize what they're talking about and what the song is all about, if you haven't figured it out yet, Rob Zombie loves to eat pussy. Sorry, I had to figure out how to do that. So, anyways, Sick Bubblegum is great. It's fantastic. It's good fun time. That is followed up by what? What is hilarious? What is a great song? It is high pace, fast energy the whole way through, just like do 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 do. Yeah, you just keep going. The whole way through. It's just great high speed endurance. I love it, especially when I'm out riding my bike, stuff like that, man. Just amps you up. Okay, that is followed by Mars Needs Women, Angry Red Women. Oh yeah. A good tune. It's a fun tune. It's totally worth listening to. I totally dig on it. It's another song on this album I just absolutely love. Um, Werewolf Baby. This one's an album filler. It's a good tune. I enjoy it. It is so much fun. But after what you've already been through on this album, it feels a little fillerish. Version Witch. Okay, so now we kind of throw it into a completely different gear, and well, it's still metal and it's still heavy and got that kind of angry esque vibe to it, or that coming to get you, murder you kind of vibe. Virgin Witch is not quite the high energy. It's not quite the high infusion. It's good too. Good tune. Death and Destiny Inside the Dream Factory. Another song I absolutely frigging adore on this album because of the high paced energy of it. And I love when Rob gets into his vocal lines. And yeah, he sings and he does choruses and stuff like that. It's great. But when Rob gets into these lines where he's just basically rapping, and I mean high speed rapping, like the old call masters at the circus, stuff like that. He's just brilliant at it, and he does it so well. And I've seen him live, and I've watched him do it live, and he does it brilliantly live. And with the energy he does, you can hear him live breathing as he's, trying to get all these words out in the speed that he's got to do. And it is bitchin', man. I mean, absolutely brilliant. From there, we get into two songs that I'm not entirely sure where I feel about these, where I sit with them. You got Burn and Cease to Exist, and both songs are really good, but they don't. Cease to Exist kind of stands out on its own because it's a little bit different than a lot of the vibes and feel on this. Burn just kind of once again disappears into the album because it's so much like a lot of elements that you've already been experienced. You've already experienced or been through on this album at this point. Cease to Exist, it kind of brings you back, it catches you a little bit, and it kind of lulls you back into something different a little bit. But on its own, it doesn't, like, it wouldn't stand as a single or anything like that. Werewolf Women of the SS would definitely stand as a single. It's another fun tune. Rob had actually contemplated doing a movie for Werewolf Women of the SS and did a fake trailer for it. The Grindhouse movies, when those came out, it was a trailer. I can't remember if it was the trailer before Death Proof or the trailer before Planet Terror. But it was great. It was definitely inspired by this song, or this song was inspired by that. I can't remember at this point which came first. Chicken or the egg, right? But it's a great fun tune, man. I would honestly have loved to have seen a live action Werewolf Women of the SS. I think Rob would do this great movie with it. I think he really should. After that, we have The Man Who Laughs. And The Man Who Laughs finishes out the album. Now, most of the songs on this album clock in at 3.5 minutes or less. The one thing I love about Rob is Rob can take a shorter song and make it sound longer. And not in a bad way, in a good way. You can tell that he was a Ramones fan and that he learned from the Ramones, because a lot of this is, a Ramones style, verse, chorus, verse, intro, verse, chorus, maybe a solo, verse, chorus out, kind of stuff. And it's a great thing. It gives you a lot of fast, good songs. He saves it all for the end of the album. That's why. You get to the end of the album, you hit The Man Who Laughs, and The Man That Laughs is almost a 10-minute song with this killer-ass little drum bit in the middle where, it just goes to town. And I absolutely love the song because it's a truly musical, experimental song where Rob is letting loose and doing those things that Rob does, which is create nice and enjoyable art for the ears. Man, did I make that sound pretentious enough? I don't know. It is. It's a wicked tune, though. You know, like I like that Rob lets his musicians have some time, get in there, do some stuff. You know, actually play. You know, and that's important to me. And even on an album where, like I said, most of the songs tend to be under 3.5 minutes, he still leaves room for the drummer to have a drum solo of sorts in the middle. You know, of the last song. And as I always say, you have to have a good, solid last song on the album. And The Man Who Laughs completes out Hellbilly Deluxe 2 brilliantly. I recommend this. If you've never owned a Rob Zombie album, this would probably be my first suggestion to go pick up. Might be my second, but either way, you get what I'm saying. Till next time. Peace, love, take care, subscribe, get your notifications, and please feel free to leave a comment.